Hello everyone, this is Paramveer Singh and this session is about connecting to internet in Android. Today we'll be talking about why there is need for the Android apps to connect to internet. What is the usage or what power internet gives to the apps? Then how to connect to internet. What are the ways and methods to be connected to the network? Then finally how we can get data from the server. So why there is need to connect to the internet? We can categorize Android apps on the basis of connectivity in two types. First is standalone apps. Those apps which do not need internet to achieve their desired or core feature. For example, reminder apps or note apps, photo editing apps, contacts apps, or music player app. In reminder or notes app, the user can save notes or reminders in the local database, and whenever there is time to trigger an alarm or reminder, the application just check the time and trigger the alarm. For photo editing app, user can import photo or image from the local gallery, image gallery, and start editing. For editing, the app doesn't need to connect to the internet. It just can apply the logic locally for the image processing. For contacts app, there's no need to connect to internet. The contacts can be stored locally in Android database. Music player app, again, local music available, mp3 files available in Android system can be played. The other category of the apps is connected apps, those ones which need internet inherently to achieve their desired feature. For example, chatting apps, they need server connectivity to transfer message from one client to another. Food ordering app needs server connectivity to uh, upload the order, and the server then will transfer the order to the required restaurant. News apps, server connectivity is obviously needed to get news feeds from the desired website, news website. Banking apps, server is needed to connect to the bank server. And Maps app, like Google Maps app, to render maps or to achieve the feature like distance calculation or the directions to a particular location. If standalone apps do get connected to internet, they actually get more power. They are if standalone apps do get connected to internet, they can achieve much more than the they can achieve. If standalone apps do get connected to the internet, they can achieve much more, and they can use the power of internet, uh, the power of internet. If stand if standalone apps do get connected to the internet, they can achieve they can actually achieve much. One, two, three. If standalone apps do get connected to the internet, they can achieve much more. If standalone apps do get connected to the internet, they can achieve much more because the information, the processing power, and the knowledge available on the server. If standalone apps do get connected to the internet, they can achieve much more by using the processing power or the information available on server. How? Let's see all these standalone apps one by one. For example, if standalone apps do get connected to the internet, they can achieve much more using information and processing power available on the servers. Let's see all those standalone apps again one by one. For reminder and notes, sorry, for reminder and notes app, all the notes and reminders can be synced with the server and they can be accessed from anywhere, like another Android device, from PC and any other device which is connected to internet. Photo editing app, user can share the edited photos with friends and also save it in the account, which can then be accessed from any other client connected to internet. Contacts app, the same with the contacts app. The contacts can be uploaded on the server as backup and accessed from anywhere. For music player app, user can search for online music, search for song lyrics, and save its music related preferences online. Also, in addition to this, we developers need very useful features which we only get implemented which we can only implement using internet, like advertisements, analytics, crash reports, and push notifications. These are the features which these days every application is loaded with. Connecting to internet. So there are three modes or three ways to connect to the network. First is Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is either low cost or it's completely free, like publicly available Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi in offices, or even the home Wi-Fi. It is always, almost all of the times, it is free, high speed, and either the data is large in volume or we get practically unlimited data. Second mode is 3G, 4G, or LTE, but this is very expensive, not in India but in every country. The speed may be high or low. If, even even today, many people are using 2G in India, which is really very slow, and also the data volume is very low. We typically get 1 GB or 2 GB of data per month. And the third one is local area network. Connectivity to web may not be available in this because here in local area network the two devices are connected to one another using the local Wi-Fi. The speed is although very high and also it's free, but we'll not be talking about local area network in this session. We'll be taking into account only Wi-Fi or 3G. So let's start connecting to internet. The first step we have to do is to get a permission, to declare a permission in Android manifest file, because we know for accessing every critical feature in Android we need to declare permission, and internet is also a feature that can cost to user, and it can also uh, have security risk on the device, so we need permission. First is internet permission, which is used to actually connect to the internet, and another one is access network state information. This is used to know whether the device is connected to internet or not. Let's come to the code now. First, we will have to see whether the device is even connected to internet before doing any network related operation. The code is very simple, 2 or 3 lines code here. We'll use connectivity manager here. This is Android API class which is used to know the status of the internet or the network on the device. We can get reference to connectivity manager object using get system service, which this method we typically use to access other system services or manager classes like location manager, preference manager, or package manager. We'll pass this parameter connectivity service, and from connectivity manager we will access the current network state. Network info is the object which has the information about the current network state. Connectivity manager dot get activity network info, active network info, and then we'll check with network info whether the current state is connected or not. If it is connected, we'll proceed further to fetch the data. If it is not, we'll show this kind of message to the user that sorry, there is no internet available. Please either turn on the Wi-Fi or the 3G. So connectivity manager is the class here to remember. It either tells about the network state, or we can also get notified by this class if there is any change in the current network state of the device. So if the user has turned the Wi-Fi off and our app was doing any network related operation, it can just uh, uh, show alert message to the user to turn the Wi-Fi again on. So there are 4 steps of getting data from the server after we check that the internet is available on the device. First is create URL, the URL object. Second, create connection using HTTP URL connection. HTTP URL connection is the class we use to do our network operation. We'll talk about it. Third step is start connection. We'll start connection on the HTTP URL connection object, and finally we'll read data from the connection. So the little code related to all these steps is here. First we'll create URL object. My URL is the actual string URL like www.facebook.com or any other URL. Then we will get reference to the HTTP URL connection object using url.openConnection method. Then we'll say connect on that HTTP URL connection object. At this moment, our application is connected to internet and the connection is active. And then finally input stream. We'll get input stream from the connection and we'll read data from that input stream. So the code is rewritten here again. So this is simple 4-line code for getting data from the internet, but we'll be decorating this code to handle exceptions and other scenarios. So let's talk about the important classes here. First is URL, a uniform resource locator that identifies the location of internet resource. For example, this URL http://dailynews.com:8080/directory/file?search. So this URL contains many parts. First is protocol. The protocol here is HTTP. It can be FTP or any other protocol, but we typically use HTTP in our network operations. The host here is dailynews.com. The host actually identifies the server. So we'll be connecting to dailynews.com server here, and the port here is 8080. The port identifies this identifies the port where our server application is running on. The path here is slash directory slash file. This path is actually locates the resource or the feature we are accessing. And finally, the query. This defines the method or the purpose uh, which we need to perform. So from simple string URL, we get URL object using new URL constructor and passing the string URL here. HTTP URL connection. The simple class which is used to send and receive data over web. The data may be of any length and it can be used to get and post data. So we get connection HTTP URL connection using open connection method on URL object. So here is the full data, full code here to get the data. First, we call new URL passing the string URL here. Then we get reference to the HTTP URL connection object. Then we say to that connection, we set the request method either get or post. And then we finally connect and start connection on that connection object. We can read response code from that connection. 200 is the response code which is returned if everything goes fine and our request is accepted. And we can check if the code is 200. If it is 200, then everything is fine and we will start reading data. For reading data, we'll get access to the input stream on the connection, and from that input stream we will finally extract our text data. Let's see our code here in Android Studio. So in this activity, I am getting data from server, a simple string. So what I will do is I will here use this mock API. So when I hit this URL, it returns me this text. This is simple data. This is plain text. That's it. I'll be using this URL here in my code. Here, this string URL, which I then be using and convert it to the URL object. So murl is the string URL and this is my URL object. What I am doing here is I have defined a layout which has a button, and on pressing that button I'll connect to the internet. I'll connect to the server. For that button I have written an on-click listener. This is the application. I am starting application again. So if I press get data, I get this data from the server. This is sample data, this is plain text. Again, if I do, again this connected to internet, the server, and got this data. So what I'm doing on click listener of this button, this is UI related code. Here I am uh, changing the visibility of progress bar from either visible to visible or visible to invisible depending on my requirement. And here I am spanning a new thread because for doing any network operation, we need to span a new thread. We can't do network operations on main thread. This is very important and we'll be talking about it in later session, in our next session. So this is the method I'm using to get data from server. In this data, in this method, first I created a URL object, then HTTP URL connection from that URL object, and it's called connect on that object. First I am reading the response code from that connection. If this is 200, I'm getting input stream from that URL connection, and then I'll be reading the text from that input stream. This is the code to read text from input stream, and we are already familiar with the code. We know how to extract data from input stream. I'm returning this data back, getting this data from this method and showing this data. Here in method show data, I'm just passing that uh, data which I have got to a text view here, and I'm turning the progress bar invisible, and also I have declared this permission, internet permission. I have declared another permission that is about checking the network state, because I am here not checking the network state. I'm just connecting to internet. That's it. So this is all about uh, connecting to internet and getting simple data from the server. And in our next session, we'll see why it is important to run network operations on separate thread. We'll talk about how to show network response in UI. Excuse me. And we'll see how we can get and parse data like JSON, XML, and images. We will also see how we can handle common issues like network non-availability and other exceptions in connecting to server. Thank you very much.